Hello everybody, it's Calxiyn and Hunter here, and today we are Hunter here, and today we are going to be talking about Raven and Yang. But before we get started, I hope that if you guys enjoy this, you guys will consider becoming a patron over on Patreon. We have been over our $250 goal as of this video, so cosplays are incoming, guys. Get ready.
We lack, listen, right, we may have the funds, we lack the talent.
What do you mean? We're not making them.
Well, I take it back then. We have everything we need.
Have the funds. Not to say that, like, making your own cosplays is something that I think is super amazing and everything. But at the same time, I think that if I can find people that are more talented than me, I will pay them to do it. If that makes sense. I would never draw my own art. Like, yeah, I can try, but it's about if my skill overtakes the other skill. Yeah, a cosplay howl, basically, right? Because, like, I can do logos and stuff, but again, it's whether I want to do something for free myself and have it be of a questionable quality, or if I know that somebody else can do it but pay the money. We're going with mostly the pay the money route. But like I've made my own like mini cosplays before, like Disney bounds and stuff. But anyway, this is a little off topic for this conversation. Don't shame me for not making my cosplays. Anyway. What were we talking about again? Yeah, so we're talking about Raven and Yang today. And in terms of this, we're talking about the conversation that they're gonna have downstairs. I'm not gonna predict whether Cinder's coming back in this video, not yet, or anything like that. I will touch on something that's related to that, though, later, but I just want to talk about what you think that they will talk about. So do you have any initial ideas, Hunter? Like, I don't know if this is an idea that you've seen in fanfiction before, like just what people have kind of theorized to what they talk about if they could talk to each other in fanfics. Like, obviously they've had another conversation.
Wait,
but what do you sort of think?
Again?
Raven and Yang, because Yang's in the basement?
Well, Raven is so... She's always mysterious, and I feel like her responses to people up until recently, they've always been very curt and very short. So they have her do that, essentially. Yeah. So you never get a good conversation. You essentially get promises of, like, you will learn the story of this fanfiction author's diatribe of whatever garbage they came up with. Not garbage, sometimes it's quite good, but whatever they came up with in lieu of any answers from Rooster Teeth at the time. Mm-hmm. This was all before.
All before
this season, where we got to see a lot of Raven.
Yeah.
So honestly, most of their interactions are very short, and I think part of universally people use Raven as more or less a meme, or like something to get at, like some holder of some secret. Doesn't talk much. Is always very elusive in the story, so you don't get a lot of that conversation. Mm-hmm. And
so you're basically saying that you got nothing.
I got fucking...
Do you have your personal ideas for what you think that they're gonna say to each other?
Raven and Yang would?
Yeah.
Oh jeez. So I mean, it's similarly to what it's she wants answers and Raven's the one with the answers, but is not willing to give them. For what she's gonna ask, maybe like, what are you doing? Where's Vernal?
I mean, Vernal's just...
Does she even know about Vernal?
What do you mean?
Does Yang know about... I guess... Yeah,
that Vernal is a dead body lying right now?
Yeah, where's Cinder? What do you want with this? What does it do? Basically every question that I want to ask.
Okay.
Why does the desert have, like, this weird After Effects glow on it? Mm-hmm. Haze? I mean, other than presumably it being very hot. I don't know.
So here's what I think is going to happen. Yang is going to... Or Raven is going... Or Yang is going to ask what happened. Raven is gonna say that Vernal and Cinder killed each other. Yang is gonna say bullshit. Sorry, but bullshit.
Fair enough.
Then Raven's gonna be like, I guess you know what I'm lying to, just like your father, or some bullshit like that. You know what I mean?
And then fight or something.
No. Yang's missing her arm. I don't think that she'd be that.
I mean, it would be an interesting fight scene.
I don't think they're gonna fight. So I think that Yang is gonna ask, like, why, first of all, like, Yang is gonna say something like, you said next time that we met, you wouldn't be as nice, or whatever she said, that she wouldn't be as, kind to her, or whatever. So, I think that Yang is gonna bring that up, and then, you know, Raven, may say that, like, maybe she'll bring up, like, Leonardo was put into a position where, there was no saying no, and then maybe bring up that the tribe was put into a similar situation, but she made the best of it, referring to that Vernal and Cinder have, seemingly killed one another, right? So I think that there's gonna be a conversation that follows that.
What if it goes in an entirely different direction, where it's less about the task, or maybe at the one time where
because a lot of people are like, Yang is gonna
mission.
confront, like, Raven about trying to kill Crow, and I'm like, listen, like, Yang doesn't know about any of that, so there's no reason for her to think that. Like, the only thing that Yang knows is that Raven sided with Cinder, not that, you know, Raven wanted Crow dead. We don't have that. Nobody else has that information, right?
I have a feeling that Raven's gonna try to almost distract Yang by, instead of, like, by finally giving her some, like, oh, like, I'm distracting you with stuff about your family. Did you know I love your father and Summer and Crow, and I got that relic? Fuck off.
Okay.
Like the sneaky, stereotypical, do you imagine a villain trying to get away with something routine? Do you imagine something like that happening?
I kind of have another idea that I wanted to bring up, but I wasn't in my original. So anyway, I think that they are gonna basically have a conversation like that, and, you know, Yang is gonna ask why she couldn't go to Crow and everything. Like, I think that they're gonna have some sort of talk like that. I think that Raven is gonna offer Yang again to join the tribe, and that Yang, for maybe the the moment in time, will be like, okay, like, fine, you win, I get
fetch
it.
my arm.
Like, fine, you know what I mean? Because Raven offered that to her before, that she'd basically make a good bandit, right? So I think that Yang will say yes in order to, you know, have Raven take her inside to see the relic.
Mm-hmm.
I think that that sort of, and not that, like, Raven is clever, but she's also, I think that she does have a little bit of a soft spot for Yang, right? And so if Yang refused before, but now was able to convey that she had changed her mind in a very coy way, like, okay, so here's basically how I see that scenario playing out, is that Yang would say, I talked to Ozpin, and he said that you were right, that, you know, you were right about what he said that you did to you, or what he said that you... What he said that he did to you.
You did to you. Your greatest enemy is yourself,
No.
That, if you remember anything.
That basically Yang says, you know, Ozpin told us that you were telling the truth. And so I want to know what else you were telling the truth about. And then Raven will be like, well, if you want to know that, then you're going to have to come with me. And then Yang will be like, okay, well, fine, whatever. Like, she can even throw in for good measure, I know that Ruby's safe now. You know, she doesn't need me. Like, something like that, you know, something to just tug on, try to make the story convincing. Because I'm not saying that Yang actually wants to join the tribe, I'm saying that Yang needs to be strategic enough to try to trick her mother, or at least her mom will know that she's being tricked and do it anyway. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. And so, that Raven knows that Yang is toying with, that Yang is trying to be slick, so to say, right? But Raven just lets it go anyway, because at this point she does not give a shit. And so, like, in Raven's head, she's like, yeah, I know that Yang doesn't actually want to join the bandits. Like, I know that she's just saying that, so I'll take her to the relic, but whatever, it's fine, I don't care. Like, I feel like that is where we're at in this scenario. And so I kind of see something like that happening, where they go in, you know, they recover the relic together, and that's just kind of what happens. So my other scenario that I have is that Yang doesn't actually follow her into the relic room, that they have a similar talk to what Hunter and I have already mentioned, but Yang gets her answers outside of the room and says, you know, you once saved me, so this time I'll turn a blind eye to you, now we're even, sort of thing, right? And so that Yang just goes back upstairs and says that, you know, says that Cinder killed Vernal, and then that kind of brings up panic.
So Yang would lie, or I guess wouldn't.
Or that Yang wouldn't lie, but maybe if she, it depends on whether she thinks that's a bullshit story or not. Mm-hmm. But I think that she would say that to everybody, even if she thought that it was fake.
Do you think Raven would be honest in that moment? It was like, yeah, no, I killed Cinder.
It's me! No. I think that she has to, for her to be safe at this point, I think that she has to tell the story that Vernal was the original Spring Maiden, and that Vernal killed Cinder, and Cinder killed Vernal, and that's just what happened. She can even say that Cinder got away, right? That Cinder ran away.
I mean, not entirely false. Like, we don't know what's happening with her.
Yeah, and so there's that. So I think that that may also be a conversation option, that Yang never follows her in to get the relic. She just turns a blind eye to Raven this time because, you know, at the end of the day, they've kind of basically won. The villains are in a really tough spot. Yang has other things to do. I think that she is gonna ask again, like, if you tell me why you left us, I'll let you go, or whatever. And that is kind of Raven's time, to be honest. That's also a possibility. My other thought is that we don't ever see the conversation that they had in the vault. We just see Yang coming out of the vault, and Raven's not with her.
Oh.
And so we never know what the relic looks like. We never know if Raven cooked it. We don't know the conversation that they had.
All over again with Ozpin dying. Like,
we don't know if they talk to each other. We don't know what's going on in the basement. And then Yang again kind of reiterates that Vernal's dead and Cinder's gone and Raven isn't there.
My mother abandoned me a pig again.
And then Yang just goes to fight. I think that no matter what happens in this basement, we did another video on this, Yang going to fight Adam is almost, I don't want to say it's a guaranteed, but it's probably the most plausible event. Like, she's gonna talk to her mom in the basement. Yeah. She's gonna go talk to her mom in the basement, and then after she's done talking to her mom in the basement, she's gonna go help Blake or whatever. I think that's the most plausible outcome. But as for the stuff in the basement, there's just so many possibilities right now, and I think that that's what makes Raven so exciting as a character, is that Hunter and I have been able to predict a lot of stuff this season, whether we've done it intentionally or by accident.
By accident?
There has been some accidents where we were just saying something as a joke and then it, you know, it happened later. Like when I said that, oh, like Yang's arm popping off, that's gonna happen when she's fighting later and she's gonna leave someone with it when they try to grab onto her. Right? Like that.
Yes.
That was more of a joke.
I honestly don't remember
turned
that,
into an accident.
God.
It was in the one, obviously. I think it was in the analysis when it happened, like, or it was in the reaction for that one, like, for that episode. It was either in the analysis for that episode or the reaction for that episode. But stuff like that is more of a happy accident, right? And so, but what's most exciting about Raven and Yang right now is you have no idea what direction they're going to. Like, you don't know if Yang's gonna be angry because at first, like, her eyes turned red to confront Mercury and then she said, oh, I don't care about you, and then she turned it off, right? So we don't know if she's mad. She looked pretty calm confronting her, right? We don't know if she's angry, we don't know if she's upset, we don't know if she's there to stop her or to get more answers, we don't know if she's there to help her. Like, we don't know. Right, and I think that's what makes them the most exciting right now in terms of conversation options. So, to reiterate, here's what I see. So, Yang trying to play coy and say that she'll join the tribe if she can get some answers about the relic in her life. Yang not being coy and just demanding the answers, and Raven being like, well, fuck, like, we're by ourselves, it's fine. Yang being angry, which we kind of already said, and trying to get Raven to not take the relic.
As we say.
Raven going in there and taking the relic, and Yang just following her. Regardless, not seeing the conversation at all, Yang being more upset. I also think that Yang may also ask why Raven said that, that Ruby reminded her of Summer. Like, I think that Yang may also ask about that because she got really touchy, I think, on the subject when she was like, you're not my real mom, Summer's my mom, or like, you know, that's my real family, right, that Yang said, right? So I think that's also a possibility, and yeah, so that's where things kind of end off. I don't know how they're gonna leave that basement, but I know that they're gonna have some sort of conversation, even if we don't see it. To be honest, I'm kind of hoping that we don't actually see what they talk about.
Really? Is it
I'm the
gonna
most
be Ozpin and
trolliest person,
again?
yeah, in all of the galaxies. Like, it's fine. Yeah, so that's kind of what I want to happen. I don't want to see it. I want to see Yang come out of the hole, and Ruby asks what happened down there, and for Yang just to explain that Cinder and Vernal killed each other, and now Raven's gone, or something like that. Something to that effect, right? I think that would be very exciting for me anyway. So there's that. Other options? Okay, so a couple people think, and I'm kind of in this camp, but at the same time, this is so predictable, I would kind of, like, Miles and Carrie, I've said this in a couple videos, Miles and Carrie have my faith. They have my attention, if you want to call it that right now. Like, if this next episode goes well, I will never doubt them again until they do something else wrong.
I will never doubt them again.
Until next
I
time.
inevitably doubt them.
Yeah, well, you know what I mean. Right, because right now there's no reason to doubt them, but I still am anyway. I need that one last episode as a confirmation that they know what they're doing. And so a lot of people think that Cinder is gonna extend her arm, it's gonna grab onto the side of the cliff, you know, she's gonna try to get Yang, but then Raven will step into the way and sacrifice and blah, blah, blah. That's all boring. Sorry. And so I just wanted to bring that up as a final possibility to how the basement conversation will end. Yeah, so that's basically it. That's where I'm at with this. I honestly have no idea. Like, I am listing out outcomes, but I don't have a strong feeling yet. By the time this video comes out, my opinion may have changed, and I may do an addition to this video by myself, not with Hunter. But as of right now, I'm just trying to explain to you guys what I can foresee, not necessarily what I am predicting. So yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, remember Patreon, Discord, all that fun stuff, and we will see you later. Bye, guys.